Welcome back. We're continuing the news. Jamaicans could see tougher measures in the days ahead if compliance with current COVID-19 protocols does not improve. Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave the hint at a press briefing which is now underway at Jamaica House. Giovanni Dennis has been listening in and now joins us live. Gio, what can you tell us?
Well, Janella, I can tell you that Jamaica recorded an alarming 878 new positive COVID-19 cases on Sunday. Now, it's the first time that the country is topping 800 cases in a single day. The Prime Minister reacted to that news.
This is the third consecutive day of record numbers, with 527 reported on Saturday and 723 reported on Sunday. Our cumulative cases of COVID-19 are now 26,904, and 454 persons have died due to the pandemic. I offer my sincere condolences to all who have lost loved ones.
Now, with this latest record, the Prime Minister said that Jamaica is in the darkest hour of the pandemic, with mounting reports of challenges facing healthcare workers.
I want to pause here to adopt Minister Tufton's new phrase, let that sink in. And without pleasantry, without being amused at the matter, this is very serious. We are now in the danger zone. And what is happening is that by virtue of our past success, by virtue of delaying this point for more than a year since the pandemic, there are those who believe that we have passed the worst. Yes, we are in the darkest hour of the pandemic. And yes, it will pass at some time. But exactly how that happens depends on how you, as an individual, as a citizen, as a worker, as a mother, father, you as the individual, it depends on what you do.
Now, the Prime Minister appeared to criticize the video circulating of a man of an expletive-laden tirade at Helsha Beach by a man against the police on Sunday. Now, he argued that people simply need to be responsible. Now, he hinted that if the numbers don't go down, tougher measures could be implemented.
But if the numbers do not improve, then, as I had said earlier, there are other measures which we will put in place. These measures will have an impact on the economy. It will have even greater impact on your ability to move. It will have even greater impact on your ability to gather.
Now, Janella, the Prime Minister commented on the 50,000 doses of vaccines that we got from the people of India today, and the next steps they have been saying from before that the first doses will be, persons will be inoculated starting Wednesday. So the healthcare workers are the first set of persons to be inoculated this come Wednesday from the batch of vaccines that arrived today from the people of India. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Gio. Now to an issue that was raised at that press conference. The management of Helsha Beach in Portmore St. Catherine is distancing itself from a group of men seen in a social media video blatantly disregarding COVID safety protocols and disrespecting the police in the process. TVJ News understands that the ringleader in the video is now in custody and is to be charged in 2 police divisions for breaches under the Disaster Risk Management Act. Krista Campbell reports.
Meet Stephen Mike Witter. Well, at least that's the name he gave members of the police force who tried to stop him and his companions from using the Helsha Beach in Portmore St. Catherine on Sunday afternoon. Now, all public beaches have been ordered closed until March 22 as part of increased COVID prevention measures. But much like Arnett Gardens resident Dane Mitchell's April 1 video last year, where he insulted the Prime Minister and police, Stephen Mike Witter insisted he was above the clutches of the law.
Every bomb where they making in the world, so me will tell you anything come out my mouth. If you know where good for you, turn these drive them in the sea, or not drive them about in the business.
Now, Dane Mitchell from last year's viral video eventually reformed his attitude to the COVID restrictions after his arrest. As for Mr. Witter, it's not his first such video mocking the COVID restrictions. Now, the Half Moon Bay Fishermen's Cooperative, which manages Hellshire Beach, says 2 security guards have been hired to screen patrons for COVID compliance and instruct them that they are only allowed on the beach to buy seafood, collect it, and leave right away. But Mr. Witter and his friends, who turned up in a highest minibus and on bikes, weren't having it. They reportedly roughed up the security guard and made their way onto the beach.
We got a report that they are on the seafront dismantling the barriers that we put in place to prevent patrons from going into the water. So then we realized it's a situation for the police.
Which brings us back to this video making the rounds on social media.
We don't call on the Prime Minister and tell him, say, Mr. Him cannot take we off our private beach. One of the things are fool and I deal with. One of the can't deal with poor people. So I am not a poor man. So no boy can tell me nothing.
Things got heated for a brief moment when one of the men got too close to a policeman.
Mind yourself, man. Mind yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't touch here, sir. We're not touching you either, you know. Don't touch nobody here, sir.
The police left shortly after, but stakeholders at Hellshire Beach, including Portmore Mayor
We go to our primetime news follow-up now. The former chairman of Petrojam, Dr. Percival Badahu Singh, has been arrested and charged with 12 counts of obtaining money by false pretense. In a news release this afternoon, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA, alleges that between December 2016 and May 2018, Dr. Badahu Singh fraudulently claimed several reimbursements and was paid by Petrojam for overseas business trips he did not attend. The claims amounted to $73,620. MOCA says it conducted a multi-jurisdictional probe into the allegations and submitted a file to the DPP. Dr. Badahu Singh, who has been offered bail, is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Court on March 17.
Residents of Mount Felix in St. Thomas are appealing to the authorities to fix the road in the area. They say the road in their community is so bad that pretty soon the community could cease to exist as everyone is leaving. More in the report from Dwayne Anderson.
The place is running down. The school closed down. The church closed down. The residents are moving out because of the road.
Another community in lockdown. But this time, it is not the COVID-19 pandemic that is to blame. Instead, it is a road, or the lack thereof. This stony pathway looks more like a riverbed, but it's what residents of Mount Felix in St. Thomas have called a road for years.
Long time now, we don't see this road with. I can't tell you, I remember. So long, I remember how much year now.
This tavern was once bustling with business, but now it is closed and overgrown with shrubs, as people who used to go there for refreshment can no longer visit due to the bad roads. A toppled utility pole is further evidence of the neglect. This car has been locked away for a long time. It is not wise to try to drive it through here. Donkeys are a more practical mode of transport. The animals are popular among those who farm in the area, but most times the production is too great for the animals to carry, so the food goes to waste.
There's no road to go up there. If you just go around the corner now, you cannot pass. Nothing food actually cannot pass here. I think donkey, because the road at the bottom side tear off. All the residents up there move out, and they have no road. We have about 10,000 coconut, Mr. Cooper and I, we plant here. We cannot even get to reach it, or we can take it out of the area when it's above here. We have no road. So we want to know why we're paying taxes. Cause I don't owe no taxes up here. My cousin don't owe no taxes up here. The man we are paying taxes. Me pay my own, my parents' own.
Everybody paying taxes.
Everybody pay their taxes. So what is the problem? The mayor tell me that the road is a farm road. This is a parochial road. Where whole of vehicles run from me a boy.
Ludlow Mattison is the councillor for the area.
Over the past few years, I actually make representation for this Mount Felix Road. But I always hear that no money is not in the system. Which I am not looking a rehabilitation road. I was looking like a tractor to come and scrape the road. That the people could have access of the road much easier.
The road leads to the Blue and John Crow Mountains, popular sites for adventure seekers and tourists. Residents say the area is filled with opportunities and want the authorities to help. Their message is therefore really simple.
We want a road. The community, we want a road, and that's the one. Road. We want a good road.
Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
Welcome back. We're continuing the news. Already challenged by issues with online learning, the Garlands Primary School in St. James suffered a major setback after thieves broke into the institution. Students taking a stand. They should have been in class preparing for the upcoming exams, but that has been impeded after thieves broke into the school on the weekend. Georgette Wellington is principal of the Garlands Primary School.
This is not the first time that the school is broken into, but the first time they just took the laptops, nothing was in disarray. But this time, the place was completely tossed. Everything was askew. We just had to, it was chaotic when we came up here on Sunday morning to observe that it was just mind-boggling what we saw.
The thieves, it's believed, gained access to the property from the back. They were mindful of the security cameras and so disabled them before ransacking the room. Among the items stolen were computers which are critical to the school's operations.
We are online now, and so the teachers' lesson plans come in on the laptop. We print them and they are marked and so on.
The incident has angered residents in the community.
We are depriving our children, the future generation, of being who they want to be. They could be the next prime minister, they could be the next doctor or whatever, and they are depriving the children of their future.
I've been teaching at this school for 21 years. This is where I have molded children for education, and I've seen them grow into good men and good women. I'm appealing to the community, to the young men who are doing this. Please stop doing this. Stop destroying our education. Stop destroying the school. You need us and we need you. Just work with us. So I'm begging you. The laptops that you stole, the school phone that you stole, whatever you stole from the school, take it back.
The police are investigating. The government is poised to introduce computer coding in primary and secondary schools as Jamaica continues to drive to go digital. Education Minister Favour Williams says by 2030, Jamaicans will fully realize the benefits of children doing online school because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Giovanni Dennis reports.
11-year-old Jamaican Dominic Darby emerged top of the pile against hundreds of competitors from 70 countries in a coding competition recently. Potentially a sign of things to come as the Jamaican government moves to introduce coding in primary and secondary schools.
It will be a pilot program, a 3-month pilot program for now, to let us assess how it is and how we would fine-tune it going forward.
The introduction of coding comes amidst the COVID-19 induced online schooling across the education sector.
There's a massive change that's beginning in terms of the adoption of technology in education across Jamaica, not just in high society, right? Because people who are well off in Jamaica will make sure that their children have the latest gadget. We're talking about children who are vulnerable, children who come from the socioeconomic part of the economy that's vulnerable. Those are the children we've been focused on.
There's been public concerns about the digital divide between urban and rural communities, as well as the well-off and the poor.
My goal is to eliminate the digital divide that exists in Jamaica. So in a very short period of time, we will have children who are very literate in terms of technology.
The government has issued over 122,000 tablets and laptop computers for students to gain access to online classes. The rewards from that investment will be seen in 9 years, according to the Education Minister.
The 10-year-old today that is in grade 4 that gets a device and is able to use that device for educational purposes to accelerate learning, to deepen learning, is going to be the 20-year-old in 2030, when we're all expecting Jamaica to become a developed world country. That 10-year-old will be so much more technology savvy.
Mrs. Williams was speaking at the Go Digital online conference for medium and small enterprise hosted by the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica recently. Over 1,500 small and medium business owners participated in what was the largest forum of its kind locally, encouraging businesses to go digital. Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.